guys, it's a cold December here on Soak It Up. My name is Maria Zepeda, and today I have a very important topic to discuss. And I actually get to discuss this in person with Amy Brandenburg. Come on, Amy.
Hi, guys.
So, usually all my podcasts are filmed online because people live all over the place, and it's hard to be in the same place at the same time. So today we actually get to do this in person, which is really special, and the drive wasn't too bad as long as you're good with a 45-minute drive for each of us to meet in the middle. We're on the same page if that is considered a good drive for you guys. But today we're going to talk about the power of positive thinking and what, the ways that can impact your life, and it can impact your life in so many different ways. But before we get into that, it is December, it is the Christmas season, so I want to talk a little bit about Christmas, and I'm excited about that because Christmas has always been one of my favorite holidays. But if I were to choose and complete my top holiday, it would be either Thanksgiving or Independence Day, and Christmas I think would be so close right behind those. I love Christmas, but what about for you? What's your favorite holiday?
I love Halloween, and I love the 4th of July. Love it so much.
Okay, yeah. So we're both up there with the 4th of July.
Yes.
I love the 4th of July. It's so much fun. Do you have any special Christmas traditions, things that you do every year?
Yeah, I mean, on Christmas Eve, we always go to my church, and then we praise God, and then that night we come back home and do Christmas with my grandpa, my mom's dad, and then my uncle. And then the next day we always go to my mom's side of the family, my grandma and grandpa. But yeah, and then those are just my traditions. I always spend time with friends. Next week we're going to have a Christmas party, which is super fun. So we always do something like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, get together with your family. I know a lot of people go out of town for Christmas, but for us, we always do it in town. Christmas Eve, we always do it at my grandma's house, which is really a lot of fun. We get the whole family together, and we definitely just get to spend time with family, catching up. That's something that I really love about this season, too, is you get to spend so much time with your family that you don't normally get to spend, and it's just a lot of fun. Spending time with my family is, my favorite thing, so I really like that. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite thing about Christmas? Is it the Christmas shopping, or the Christmas movies, spending time with family, or the getting gifts, or giving gifts? I love giving gifts, but
yeah, that's probably my all-time favorite. It's just giving gifts to people.
Giving gifts.
I love just picking out things for everybody, and when they're opening their present, I'm like, oh, I got you that because of this, or I got you that because of that, and there's always a reason behind it. Literally everything I give them.
That's the same for me. I love giving gifts.
I just love seeing people get happy and feel heard as an individual.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
important.
Yeah, and I love putting, the thought behind it when you give the gift, and you have to really think about, what would this person want, and, what do they, you have to really know the person, which I think is really cool. And I love when you receive gifts, too, and you can see that they put a lot of thought behind it. I feel like that's so cool, because then oh, this person really knows me. This is so cool. But it's really, really fun. So, what is the best gift that you have ever received?
Oh God, you're putting me on the spot there. Someone asked me this a long time ago, and I didn't have an answer. I'll just be honest. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head because I just focus so much on giving people things that when I open up my present, I'm just not thinking about the present. I'm thinking about what they got or what they're about to open that came from me. I mean, if I think of something by the end of this, I'll tell you. But I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the best gift that you've given?
Okay. So for somebody's birthday, my best friend, I spent $400 on her. And
wow.
I know, and the fact of that is just because throughout the year I'll just pick up things. If I'm oh yeah, she just said she needed that, so I'll pick it up. So it's over time. It's not all just at the at the spot.
Yeah, I do that too. I have a collection of gifts for people.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I just got her a ton of stuff that she needed and just stuff she liked. We have lots of inside jokes, and I'm not gonna go into those, but it's just it was her 18th birthday. And it was such a significant just gift. I got her just tons of like, lottery tickets and just like self-care stuff, stuff for her car because that's when she started driving. Just tons of stuff like that. Some socks.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything like super grand, but it's the thought that was put into it.
It sounds like what I was saying. I love it when there's thought put into the gift.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like. That's really cool. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Do you have one? Because I don't think I do.
I don't know that I do. I mean,
like top 3.
I like the funny movies. I like the funny movies. I don't remember the names of them, but if it's funny and it has some kind of good meaning behind it, it's gonna be one of my favorites. I like The Elf. I like that. That's funny.
I love that one.
I love Adam Sandler movies, but there is a Christmas Adam Sandler movie, I think.
I feel like there is, but I can't.
If it's the bedtime story one, that's not my favorite. But but
no, that's not Christmas though. The bedtime story.
I don't know. But any like thing Adam Sandler, those are my favorite movies. Other than that, I don't really watch. I don't really watch like movies, but yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so I want to get to know you a little bit as well. So you're a college student, right?
Yeah.
So what are you majoring in?
I am going to Miami University, and I'm majoring in small business management.
Okay.
I want to open up a Western boutique in a couple years when I graduate.
Okay.
So I'm going to utilize the skills I'm learning from the small business major and apply it to my business, and also the skills I'm getting here working for Vector. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah. So a little backstory on how we know each other.
Yes.
So we actually work together at a place called Cutco Vector, and basically what we do is we sell knives to people, super high quality, the best knives that you will find.
Not the best knives, the best product.
The best product. It's literally, I can't cook without them anymore. They're so amazing, and anyone on our team, I was on the phone for like an hour with a customer the other night actually. She was purchasing for a Christmas gift, and she had tons of this product already, and she was just talking about how great it is. So anyway, just a little backstory on how we know each other. We actually work together. So it's really cool. I've got to meet a lot of people here, and Amy's one of them. So
yeah. I'm so glad that I've met Maria and I'm on this podcast. So.
Yeah, we're super excited about this, and we've been planning on doing this podcast for a long time now.
I had a concussion. We had to reschedule. She went to California, but now we're finally here.
We're finally here. We made it, and we're super excited. All right. So is that something that you've wanted to pursue, like owning a small business? Is that something you wanted to do for a long time, or did that come like later on? Yeah,
so I knew for a solid fact that I wanted to own a business when I graduated high school. Okay. So I've known for a fact for 2 years now, but my whole life I've always been business oriented. Yeah. I love business. Growing up, I told my dad, because he's one of my biggest role models, because he has his own business, farming and just a small landscaping business. I always just told him and looked up to him that I wanted to be my own boss, because he's his own boss, and I was like, I grew up this way. I don't think I could ever work under somebody without having some kind of independence in terms of what I do with my life and how I make my money. So my whole life I've known that I wanted to be my boss, which given,
just
that
didn't know like what.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm pretty solidified on the fact that I'm going to own a business, and I'm working towards it right now as we speak. So, yeah.
That's really cool to have, your goals and to be working toward them. And what did Chad say? So our manager, he said something the other day that was super, I liked it. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was kind of along the lines of, you don't have to be super happy with where you are to be happy in life. Mm-hmm. And this kind of goes with like the positive thinking. Like, you don't have to be in the perfect place right where you want to be a happy or positive person.
Yeah.
Like, you can be happy with where you are, knowing that you're on your way to whatever. Like, you're on your way to owning a business. And just because you don't have that business yet doesn't mean that you're going to be all, oh, I don't have it yet, so I'm going to be unhappy until I get that. Like, you're a very positive person.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I remember what he was saying. He was saying that you don't have to have it all figured out right now. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you hit the spot.
But yeah, I really liked it. And anyway, we'll get into like a little bit of like that positive thinking. So you've been kind of, I know you told me a little bit about it before. You've been trying to get into like that positive mindset and being conscious of, where your mind is at. And I feel like to have a positive mindset, like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna be a positive person now. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, it takes some time, and I feel like it definitely takes a conscious, like, you have to be very conscious about it, like, actively trying to be a more positive person. But how long have you been, working on that?
I mean, to be honest, I've tried to work on it my whole life. I feel like we all do, because we're like, if we're sad, we want to be happy, hopefully. But once I started like truly just dedicating my whole life to just being a positive person and really just getting into it, was definitely when I started this job. And I started working here in June of this year, so I've only been here for 6 months, and just being around, you are who you surround yourself by. So being around you guys and how positive everybody is and uplifting and motivated and disciplined, it just completely just changed the way that I acted, the way that I woke up in the morning, the way that I went to bed. I truly think that when you go through battles, personal battles, you either become it or you overcome it and grow from it. And over this summer, I went through a lot of personal adversity. I'm not going to get into it, but it truly tested my patience constantly. And just getting through that, I developed the positive habits. We'll get into that probably, like what I do, but I developed that. And over the summer, that's when I started. And since then, I'm a whole new person, but like the best version of myself thus far. Which is, I'm happy to be sitting here saying that, because a year ago I wouldn't have been saying this stuff.
Well, I mean, from what you told me before, it seems like, getting into that positive mindset has really helped. And it's something that I've been working on. I feel like a lot of people work on having that positive mindset, because of course you want to be a positive person. You want to be happy. Hopefully you want.
If you don't, you need to.
But yeah, you've definitely, done really good with it, and you are, like, whenever I see you, you're very positive, and I know we have a super positive team here too, which really helps out. But how have you seen it change, like, your routines? Like, how has your routine, your morning routine, or like your night routine, or even just when you're driving, how have you seen it kind of change?
That's a good question. Well, when I wake up, I'm now a morning person. I used to never be a morning person. I was a night owl. But now I'm a morning person. I love my mornings. I look forward to them. Just getting up and starting the day on a positive note and just accomplishing everything I can that day to get to my end goals. But my mornings are great now. I love them. Driving, driving, you see the world when you drive. You're looking out the window, you're seeing other cars, you're seeing trees, just all of that. I look at it differently. And that's just my whole perspective now. It's just everything's different. But I'm seeing the value in the small things and what God created. I'm seeing those things now. But just like with school, I'm more motivated. I see everything I just see the purpose of way more. I guess, that would answer your question. I just see the purpose of things, like truly see it. Yeah.
That's really, and you have to be conscious of that too, like consciously giving yourself things to be positive about. And every day, if you name 5 things that you're thankful for that can help you to have a more positive mindset. But what are some of the things that you do that go into your routine to help you keep that, stay positive?
Yeah, so every morning when I wake up, I have a journal. Right now, I have a gratitude journal that Jeff Bry gave us. Jeff Bry is the Midwest region manager. He gave it to us. He gifted it to us. It just every morning you wake up and you write down 3 things that you're grateful for, but you're like really specific about it. Like this morning, I wrote down that I was thankful for having warm shoes that keep my feet warm.
It can be the smallest thing.
Yes,
it can be the smallest thing.
Yeah, and then you write down what would make today great, like what would make it great, and then you write down that, and then how are you gonna do that? Just like journal. My point is, do your journal entries in the morning. Look at how your day is gonna go. Be thankful for things right off the bat, because that just it really grounds you and makes you realize that you have way more than you think you have. But yeah, I do that, and then when I'm getting ready, like getting dressed or putting makeup on, I listen to a podcast. I listen to the Positive Mindset podcast by Henry Lawrence. I highly recommend him. It's like 10 minutes, and he just sits there and he just talks about all these positive things, and it really just gets me going for the day. And it's super simple. It's not anything I need to really like, oh my God, that just changed my life. It's more just like it's just a very simple positivity to put into your day. And then, I do that every single morning.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I'm going somewhere or if I'm even getting ready, I just do that in the morning. Listen to the Positive Mindset podcast. And then I have a weekly gym routine. I go 5 times a week.
I feel like,
yes.
I really like what you're saying, but like the gym routine and getting exercise, I feel like that can be overlooked a lot. Like, oh, I don't have time for that. Yes. And then people... Because I was going to ask another question is, so many people around our age especially really struggle with having like depression and super high anxiety. And I was going to ask, what you think kind of why that is, like why a lot of people have that. But one thing that I would say is that people don't prioritize their physical health, and they think... people don't think that will help with mental health or anything, but getting out there and being physical, it helps so much. Even a short walk, just once, a couple times a week, helps so much getting your body moving. But what different things do you think kind of play into that, and why people struggle with that so much?
People definitely struggle with stuff like that because they can't manage their time. One of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody says, I don't have time for that. Well, it's not that you don't have time for it, it's that it's obviously not a priority to you. The way that I manage my time is that I have 4 main priorities: myself, work, school, family, and friends. And I just map that out and make sure that I'm dedicating time to that each week, if not every single day.
Yeah.
And one of my priorities is my physical health, because without the physical, you can't have the mental, vice versa. You can't just... It's like you can't go to the gym and then come home and eat fast food every day. That's not going to work. You got to go to the gym, eat healthy, do your Positive Mindset podcast, do your journaling. You got to do it all, because you are your greatest asset. So why are you guys slipping? Why are you guys letting that just, go under the rug because I don't have time for it? Like, no. Like, clearly, yes.
You're going to have time for what you prioritize. Like, you're going to make time for it. You're going to find time for it. If you don't have time for it, you're not prioritizing it.
And yourself should be a priority. If it's not, that's an issue. Everyone has time for it. It's just... are you a priority to yourself? If not, that's where you need to reanalyze your priorities there. Yeah. But the social media and just
for sure,
it's actually a whole nother world that our generation is sucked into, and the Gen Alpha, is that the next generation? The skibbity toilet people. It's really bad for them, and I pray for them. I feel really bad for them.
Yeah.
I was telling a few people on our team the other day, Ethan, Nathan, and Braden, on our car ride back from Michigan. I was talking about artificial depression. And that's what I call it. I call depression that you get from social media or what you think.
Okay.
What you think. Keyword think, not what is actually happening, but what you think is happening. I call it artificial depression because it's all in your head. It's all in your head.
I like that.
Yeah, it's not something you were born with. You're not special because you're depressed because of social media. It's all in your head, and we can all get sucked into it because it's social media. It literally sends off stress signals into your brain. But
it's so addicting too.
It's addicting,
and it can just keep you on there forever, which just adds. It just adds and adds and adds onto it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it can be so overwhelming too. You know, like you were saying, you've got to work on the physical. You have to work on the mental. You have to work on not only exercising, but you have to try to eat well and all these different things. And it can be super overwhelming. People think, you know, you have to go all in or nothing. But that's not the case because at that point, you know, you're just trying to go all in and be perfect, or, oh, I can't do it at all, which is not, you know, that's not going to be healthy because, of course, we're not going to be able to go all in and be perfect at it. But just finding a place to start and, you know, like we were saying, finding your priorities. You know, you have to work on the different things, but it doesn't have to be like, I have to go to the gym and I've got to spend 45 minutes. No, just go do something for 10 minutes. Do a little something on like a little Pilates workout, or you don't even need to have weights or anything. Just go for a short walk or something like that. Try to mix up your diet and throw in some things that are going to benefit you. Do a little, you know, journaling every morning. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to get up at 5 a.m. to make sure that I have an hour to do this, and then I gotta work out for 45 minutes, and then I have to, like, that's gonna be way overwhelming, especially to start like that. But just putting in little things, it can really help add to that just positive, help you to be just like a more positive person. So,
yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. It's all about the little things. It's just compound interest. It's just the best thing in the world. Just doing the little things add up. I mean, I'm sitting here saying I'm such a positive person, but I didn't start off like that.
Yeah.
You know, I got myself out of my bed, and then I went and took like a walk. Like, that's how it starts small. It starts small. It starts with the small things. Do not go all in because you're going to be like, oh my God, this is just, I can't do this. I have no effort. You need to do the little things and work up to it. It's not like, you know, you can't just run a marathon right off the bat. You need to do the endurance training. Yeah. It takes time, and people think they don't have time. That's where it all comes down to, is how are you spending your time?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. So I have a couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap up because we're a little short on time now. Okay. But if you could give your younger self, say like maybe 10 to 15 years old, if you could give that person advice, what would your like best piece of advice be?
Oh, I love that. Personally, I would probably say to myself that obviously life gets better, and to keep an open mind and stop being so stubborn with the way that you think. Yes. Because, and honestly, I would probably tell myself to get over it because I was super dramatic, and looking back now, I'm just like, why was I sad about that one boy not texting me back? Like, it's that artificial depression. I was like, but now I look back and I'm like, oh, get over it. Because I had the strength to get over it. That's why I would be kind of mean to my little self, like, get over it, because I knew that I could. I just was like, oh, I'm just going to be so sad. And like, just be positive. I mean, that's the answer to life. You want to win life, just be positive. Yeah. And positive isn't being happy. Positive is crying yourself to sleep and knowing that tomorrow's going to be better. You know, positive is being just locked away in your brain, but knowing that you will get better. Positive is being happy, but it's also being depressed. Yeah, you don't have to feel all those emotions and still be positive. You're not gonna be perfectly like happy and, you know,
that perfect person all the time. You're going to have those moments where you are depressed, you're sad, you're angry, you have anxiety or whatever, but you can still be that positive person. Like, and it takes a conscious mind too. Like, you have to be conscious about it. But start small. Start somewhere small. Don't try to, go 100% or nothing, because that's going to be super overwhelming for anyone. But, yeah. This is one more question, and I just think it's a fun one to wrap it up. So, and it's kind of a cliche, but it's fun. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Ooh, being invisible.
Why?
Because sometimes I wish, like, I can be a very social person, but I can be a very reserved person as well. And when I'm being that reserved person, sometimes I wish I was, like, invisible, so I could just do what I wanted to do, and, like, go next to people and see how, because everybody's life is so interesting to me, in terms of everyone has their own thing going on, that it's not just my world and you're living with it, it's actually everybody's world and we're all living in it.
Yeah.
So being invisible, I would be able to go see, like, what those people are actually doing.
Yeah, you could, see into their life.
Yes.
Because when you're there, they're going to act a little bit different. Like,
Yes,
they all act different depending on who we're around.
I want to go see who you actually are.
Like, but who are you actually? Like, if I'm not there, who are, like, what are you going to act like? That's really, I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it might mess with, like, my mental health a little bit, because I feel like there's
a little.
But at the end of the day, like, I feel like I'd rather know.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine, I always said, this is kind of a funny one, but teleportation.
Cool, yeah.
Just because I don't like flying or driving long distances. So, yep, I'm like, if I had teleportation, it would just be convenient, I feel like. Yeah. But, other ones I've said, flight, I just feel like that one's just, like, for fun. Yeah. Like, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Or, kind of where you were going, another one that I've thought about, would be reading minds. But that one, I feel like it's kind of like
you don't want that.
That might really mess with, I don't know if I could handle that.
That's why you choose being invisible.
Yes, so then you can kind of see into other people's lives, but you're not going to literally know, like, everything that they're thinking.
No, yeah. I don't want to know.
I like that one. Okay, well, Amy, it was really great having you on here. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll be able to talk again on the podcast. But guys, go ahead, hit that link, subscribe, share, and comment any of your thoughts. If you have any tips or advice on how to be a more positive person or have a more positive mindset, go ahead and comment that down below. And I'll see you guys later.
Bye.